The views and opinions of the guest do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, this is Michael Cleveland of Michael Cleveland Flamekeeper, and you are listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour, your source for all hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, alternative, punk, horror punk, hardcore, rock, and all local bands, with your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
Hey everybody, this is Michael Cleveland of Michael Cleveland Flamekeeper, and you are listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
All right, welcome, Michael Cleveland. It's good to have you here on BODS Mayhem Hour. How are you doing, sir?
Doing great. How about you?
I'm doing fine. And we got a Flamekeeper right here with us.
Yeah.
How are you all doing?
Doing good.
Great.
All doing good.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. I was at the performance there earlier that you gave on the Bluegrass Station stage. I really enjoyed the performance. You all did amazing. I was glad to be there.
Well, thank you.
And I love how you went into smoke on the water on the field. On the field.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun with that.
Oh, yeah. The Julian Lennon cover as well. I thought that was very entertaining.
Oh, thank you.
You're very welcome. All right, so starting off, Michael, I have noticed that you have been on the Grand Ole Opry stage. So how did that make you feel, being on that stage with legends such as Ralph Stanley playing on it?
Oh man, it was it's one of those places. I played the Opry I don't know how many times, and it's always the same feeling. It's always an honor, and it's always, whenever you walk on that stage, just to think of who all's been there before you.
Exactly.
But the first time I played it, I was 13, and Allison Krauss had heard me play about a couple of months before, and I guess she had talked to my grandparents, and they had said, she's going to play the opera. And so I came home from school one Friday, and the phone rang, and I picked up the phone and said, hello. I said, hello, hey, this is Allison. I said, Allison who? She said, Allison Krauss. I said, yeah, right. I thought it was somebody messing with her. And she said, no, seriously, it's Allison Krauss. Wanted to see if you might want to come play the opera with us. And man, I was thrilled to death. And I'll never forget it. It was Thanksgiving weekend. It was Saturday after Thanksgiving. Me and about 13 or 14 of my family came to the Opry and got to hang out backstage with Allison and all the youth station, and got to be around a lot of the Opry stars who are still around and singing great. Man, it was just a fun night. Every time I go play the Opry, I can't help but think about that day.
Oh, that's great. I know it had to be a thrilling experience for you because, that is a famous stage and all that.
Oh, man,
so
great.
Yeah. This question goes for every one of you all. What are your influences? What made you want to be on stage and play the type of music that you do?
Well, I guess I'll start out like my grandparents started a bluegrass association in Henryville, Indiana, which is just about 20-25 miles from here, across the river. But none of my family ever played, but my grandparents loved bluegrass, so they started this association, and it was like a stage show, so all the local bands, all the local players in the area could come and learn how to play and get the stage time, and there were a lot of jam sessions that went on to the late hours as well. But so they started this a couple of years before I was born, and then they started taking me to shows my grandparents did when I was about 6 months old. And so I don't remember that, but I've always been around bluegrass. And then when I was 4 years old, I heard a fiddle player at one of those shows play the Orange Blossom Festival.
Oh, yes.
And at that moment, after I heard that, I knew I had to learn how to play fiddle. It's only learn how to play that one song. And so I started school at Hutchinson Line that fall, and there was a classical music program that taught flute and violin. They taught all string instruments. And I remember going in the classroom and the teacher there asked me, she saying, well, so I hear you want to learn how to play the violin. What do you know about the violin? Well, I don't know much about the violin, but I know a lot about the fiddle. The fiddle. Well, what about the fiddle? Well, I want to learn how to play bluegrass, and I want to learn how to play the orange block section, and to get out of here. And she really said that'll be a while, and it was. I mean, it took me about a year and a half before I could play anything. But once I got to where I could play anything, I started bringing my fiddle to the local shows like the one my grandparents had, and I got to learn from some great musicians. But that's kind of how I got started.
Get started. Okay, what about you? What are your influences there?
Yeah, I guess that'd be my brother and my dad got me interested in music. My dad played music. He learned from his uncle, my great uncle, and then my brother was kind of a prodigy on the mandolin when he was young, and we had a little family band. We played around the house together. We didn't really go play on stage anywhere, but and then once I started playing at some of these local festivals like Michael's talking about when we were kids, you get up on stage and it's just, you get a different feeling when you're actually on stage performing for people than when you're just sitting around playing, jamming, and so that feeling you get is very contagious. And then you like to, that's how I got interested in becoming a performer anyways. But I've always loved music, and like I say, my family kind of got me into it.
You, sir, what about your influences?
Well, as far as like, I'm a mandolin player, so Bill Monroe for me, the father of bluegrass, the guy that created the music and made it what it is today. He was really the top back when I was a kid. That's all my dad would listen to is Bill Monroe instrumentals and Stanley Brothers vocal songs. So if anybody don't know who that is, that's do a little Google search and it brings some good stuff up. My dad really, he pushed me to play. If it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be playing today. Because there's been several times where I'd quit and then, come back later on and decide that I miss it. And it's, okay, why did I quit? And now I've got to go through these blisters and all this stuff again, So, and as far as playing on stage, the first time I really played on stage was with not with Mike, but at Henryville, where his grandparents, they ran that thing, and eventually I met Mike, and we started jamming together, and got that whole thing going, and yeah, it's like Josh said, it's like a drug, man. You get up there on stage, and you got people hooting and hollering for what you're doing, and then you go home, and it's like, man, I need to get back on stage again, So,
yeah. I know.
It's pretty addictive,
Exactly. All right, and you? What are your influences?
Oh, I just always liked the banjo from what I'd heard, and I learned a little bit there. Got some lessons for a little while. And then I played locally for a while, and then after a while I met Michael, and I always enjoyed it. That's all I got. They're looking at me.
He's not very influenced, I guess.
No. I'm horrible.
No, Earl Scruggs. He didn't like Earl Scruggs.
I like Earl Scruggs.
We got one more here. Well, what was your influences there, bro?
Well, my influences were basically from my family. My mother, my grandfather, and my uncle played music. And so growing up, they got me hooked on the seldom scene. They were a band based out of Washington, D.C. in the bluegrass genre. And from there, I ended up really falling in love with the bluegrass album band, and that made me really want to play bluegrass. And I just started going to bluegrass festivals and bluegrass jams. And as Nate and Josh said, it's addicting. You get used to the jam sessions, you get used to being on stage, and as soon as you get done picking, you're like, man, when's the next time we're going to get out and pick some more? So I just kept going and going, and here I am today.
I feel you. All right, cool, man. Now, the next question I have, how does it feel as musicians to be a Grammy-nominated artist? Because
I still can't believe, like, I was in bed. We had been somewhere playing real late, you know, so I'm not a morning person anyway. If I get up before 10 o'clock in the morning, there's something going on. But, like, I remember our publicist, Kimberly Williams, she called, and it was like 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, you know, and she told me that I was nominated for a Grammy. I just believe it. I mean, that's not only the bluegrass end of things. I mean, to be nominated for a Grammy, I just never thought that it would happen, you know. And to get to go, I got to go to the Grammys in New York and watch the whole thing. You know, they do they give out most of the Grammys in the afternoon. You know, they give out about 100 something Grammys here in the afternoon, and then they have the telecast. You know, where it's a lot of performances. They do give away some awards, but man, just to see, like, I mean, I like bluegrass, don't get me wrong, and I don't know near enough about, you know, the people who are performing as probably a lot of people did, but just to see people like U2 and Sting and, you know, Bruno Mars, all these people, you know, just do what they do, it's just, it doesn't matter what kind of music you like, you know, that's a great show. I mean, it was awesome just to be there.
Yeah. I know that's a big honor for you, and I want to congratulate you on being a Grammy-nominated artist.
Oh, man, thanks.
It's well-deserved.
Thank you.
It really is.
A lot.
So you played in front of the United States Congress when you was a teenager?
Yeah, there was an organization, and it's still going on, called Very Special Arts, that they have some competitions where, you know, if you're, you know, visually impaired or, you know, deaf or hearing impaired or whatever, and you do some kind of art, you know, so like there are people who, you know, paint or, you know, and a lot of musicians and things, like you can submit your work to be judged by a panel of judges, and so I ended up winning one of those contests, and that led me to play some things. They hired me then to play some things for their organization, and so when I went to play for Congress, it was to play for one of their meetings with Congress in D.C. So yeah, it was an honor for sure, and I think at that point, you know, when I was in school, a lot of people really didn't take me and me playing bluegrass music all that seriously, because, you know, and rightfully so, you know, we'd have evaluation meetings or whatever, and the teachers would always say, man, you need to have something you can fall back on. You need to get something that you can do, you know, instead of this music. And I think at that point, when they found out that we played before Congress, which really all we did is play a song when they walked in and play another song when they walked out, you know, but still, you know, when you say, you know, oh man, we got to play for Congress, they thought at that point they started taking me a little bit more serious. You know. Right. He might actually be able to go somewhere with me.
Well, there's not a lot of people that can say that they played in front of Congress as a teenager.
Right.
So that's a big honor.
It was.
The next question I have is for all the band. Is there any musicians that you would hope to work with in the studio or maybe do a tour with? Any that comes to mind at all?
Well, All right, I'll start, I guess. And we're actually getting ready to go in the studio here in a couple days. And what we want to do, and what I hope to do in my music and, with the band, we want to play more things like this. We like playing bluegrass festivals, but we want to play more things like this festival. We want to play rock and roll festivals. We want to play folk festivals. We want to play performing arts centers. We got to do a thing back in March. We got to do a pop concert with the Louisville Orchestra, and it was amazing. They took some of our songs and put orchestral arrangements to it, and we got to play at the Kentucky Center for the Arts in Whitney Hall for like over 2,000 people. And I guarantee you that a lot of them hadn't heard bluegrass before. And playing at places like this where, it's not a bluegrass audience. But when bluegrass music is put in front of people like that, they love it, and it brings us to a whole new fan base. And that's kind of my goal. And you were asking about musicians. We're going to the studio Monday. We're going to do some tracks with the band, and then also collaborations with other artists like Tommy Emmanuel. We're going to record a song with him, and Bela Fleck, and just some other people that are outside of bluegrass, maybe connected with it in some way, but we really want to get to different people and just try new things. That's what we're about.
Right. Well, that sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. And, can't wait for the new album to come out. Do any of you all have any input on who you'd like to work with, maybe in the future or anything?
Sure. There's 3 of them I can think of right now. Rihanna would be one of them.
Yeah.
I love what she does. It's incredible stuff. Justin Timberlake would be like the ultimate. And Blackberry Smoke is probably my favorite band right now. So Charlie Starr and that bunch are just... I'm looking forward to seeing them tomorrow because I hardly ever get to see any bands because we tour so much that, you just don't have time to go watch a show. So I'm pretty pumped to get to see those guys tomorrow. But those will be my top 3 choices of people to do something with. But that's a long shot.
Eric Clapton, I'd like to be able to manage to do something with him. Or I love guitar players, any kind of great guitar players like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind, hooking up with Slash, doing some things with him. I think that'd be pretty awesome.
Well, yes, Slash would be a real good one.
He's by far my favorite Les Paul player ever.
Well, that would be awesome. I'd like to see that happen.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Any more inputs?
I would love to play with like some country artists eventually down the road too. It'd be kind of cool. Record some tunes like with Alan Jackson or something. That's on my bucket list right there. But like all the greats in bluegrass too. Sam Bush. It'd be cool to do something with Tony Rice down in the future. J.D. Crowe. All those people that I grew up listening to and influencing me.
Awesome. Well, I have one more question for you all. What can Michael Cleveland fans expect from you in 2019?
We, like I say, we're going to the studio, so we hope to have a brand new album out by then. Also, there's a documentary that's in the works. There's a guy from Branson, Missouri, who his family has a theater out there, one of the biggest theaters, and his name is John Presley. Mm-hmm. And his family, has a theater and then a TV show on RFD TV. And so he plays full time, but he's always been into film work, and he's done a lot of commercials and things of that nature. But he decided a couple of years ago that he wanted to do a documentary. He saw the band perform at Silver Dollar City. We play out there every year. They have Bluegrass and Barbecue Festival. And he saw me and the band perform, and he came to us and said, look, I want to do a documentary on you and your life. And so, I mean, he came to the house a bunch, you know, and interviewed me and my family, and of course all these guys, and a lot of other people that I've worked with throughout my career. And so we're hoping to have that out here in the next few months or so. So, and there's a film page. You can find it online on Facebook, facebook.com/flamekeeperfilm, or and I think it's on Instagram as well.
Okay. Well, that sounds good, Michael. Can't wait for the new album and the documentary to come out next year. We'll be looking forward to that. You want to go ahead and give everyone your social media so they can follow you and connect with you and whatnot?
Go ahead, Nathan. Wear it out.
All right. If you folks want to follow us on Facebook, it's facebook.com/MC Flamekeeper. We also have Twitters and Instagrams. It's all the same handle. And our website is flamekeeperband.com. You come there and check out our tour schedule and read our bios and all that good stuff. Hopefully we'll see you out there at a show.
Definitely. All right, this is the BODS Mayhem Hour. We just had Michael Cleveland and the Flamekeeper. So one more time, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
My name's Nathan Livers. I'm the mandolin player.
Michael?
I'm Michael Cleveland. I play the fiddle or the violin.
He's also the boss man.
Yeah.
Josh Richards on vocals and guitar.
Josiah Strode, I'm the banjo player.
Tyler Griffith, vocals and bass.
All right, that's got it. Thank you so much.
Cool,
it's
bro.
been an honor interviewing you all.
Well, thanks for having us.
So you all have a great day.
All right, man.